This week's episode is brought to you by spam emails, a way to make you think you're doing better than you are. Spam emails are a way to convince a budding YouTube channel like Nexus that we're on the way up and that we can have an actual sponsorship on these episodes. Spam emails. Thanks for getting my hopes up, dick. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. After 40 plus episodes, I don't have any fake gag at the beginning of the episode. I'm Atlas.
But that is the fake gag.
That is
Matt.
the fake gag.
Your face is a fake gag.
Thanks. You can't even see me right now.
I can't.
Okay.
We can always see you.
That's
We know everything you're doing at every time of every day.
Great.
Phone's gonna ring in 1 second.
If either of you call my phone right now, I'd be so pissed. Anyway, welcome to hell. Today we're talking about the Premium Collection 2019, which releases in Japan in about 10 days, but all of it's been spoiled by now. So this is a set that is only for premium format, and also features the progenitor dragons that we were talking about last week. So, like most set reviews, we're just going to go from the high rarity stuff all the way down through the triple Rs, because all of the double Rs are the lowest rarity in this set, and they do literally all of the same thing. So, why don't we get it going?
Alright. So, Progenitor Dragon of Total Purity Agnos. We already talked about this last week, but it is a stride. You stride it by discarding same name as your Vanguard. In the G zone, it can't be turned up by card abilities. If it is face up, you can stride without paying the cost, and then when plays Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, call as many cards from hand to all rear guards as possible and draw 3 cards. This card is okay.
I looked it up. You don't empty your hand completely. You just fill the 5+ circles, and then draw 3.
I see.
Yeah, you do have to call over stuff, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you fill up all available rear guard circles and then stop once they're all filled.
Yeah. So cool, I guess.
The sure is the thing.
Yep.
It is very medium.
Now, speaking of not medium, there's Progenitor Dragon of Lightning Flame Gilgal. This is the Dragon Empire guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same stride rule. You have to discard a card of the same name as your Vanguard, and once he's faced up in your G zone, you can stride without paying your stride cost. But his ability is a Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 1, and until end of turn, this unit battles all of your opponent's units in one attack, gets power plus 10,000, and gains the auto ability of when the attack hits, you countercharge 1.
So hit multiple things, get multiple countercharges?
This is probably just like a countercharge 3 most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking insane. I think this is I think this is pretty easily the best Progenitor Dragon.
Easy. Easy peasy.
I mean, there's not much worse.
Lets you be really aggressive early. You can recoup all the counterblast you spend.
Mm-hmm. At worst, it's like a free stride, probably.
Yeah.
That makes all of your strides literally free for the rest of the game.
And especially if you're a Dragon Empire clan that is more rearguard based, like Tachikaze.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're fine. Hell, even something like Narukami or Kagero, where, your rear guards kind of don't matter. They're just warm bodies for the most part. This is just an easy, good first stride that you can go into, especially in Narukami, because, spoiler alert, the one in this set is kind of medium.
This effectively retires your opponent's field.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the retire all means the idea is you to prolong the game.
Yeah.
And prolonging the game and having an ability that makes your stride cost free is really, really powerful.
I didn't even think
Especially
about that as a way of prolonging the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
also,
just gaining advantage there.
battling all of your opponent's rear guards gets around resists.
Yeah, it does.
And intercept.
Yep, and they can't intercept. Yeah, that's true.
Good stuff.
Yep.
And the next one?
Oh yeah, that's also mine. Progenitor Dragon of Horizon Limit, Origarem. Again, same stride skill, same status when it's in your G zone. But it has, when it attacks, you can counterblast 1, and you increase or decrease the power of all of your opponent's units to 0 until end of turn. It's okay.
It's medium.
Probably better out of some Stargate clans than others.
I think
like-
Nova Grappler has the best use
Probably.
of
Yeah,
this.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Um,
Link Joker is already doing this. It's kind of like
Yeah.
okay.
and Dimension Police is... I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Well,
Maybe if you're playing some Zeal shenanigans, Kappa.
yeah, but give your opponent negative 10,000 power.
Hell yes.
Oh boy, now I have this 11k attacker because you have less than 8. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever.
Okay. Progenitor Dragon of Gloomy Dark Formido. So same first two skills. Third skill is one placed. Counterblast 1, your opponent chooses the same number of his or her rear guards as the number of your open rear guards and retires them. If 3 or more cards are retired, you soul charge 5 and draw a card. So, I tried this thing and it's better than I initially thought. I've been testing a lot, like, not a lot of clans, especially clans that do like the standard plus thing, leave their board completely empty. So most of the time you're getting that skill off, especially against something like as ubiquitous as Gold Paladin, which, you know, they're not going to care too much, but at least you can get, build up your soul in whatever deck you happen to be using, in my case, Pale Moon. And, pretty good. I think this takes second place over Aridram from our discussion last week.
I see.
Alright. Progenitor Dragon of Deep Sea Balan Arena. That's still so awkward. That random N in the middle of its name is still so awkward.
Balan Arena, and also that makes it sound like almost majestic, and this thing looks like something out of H.P. Lovecraft. It is not majestic at all.
Yeah. So, same first two skill, and then auto, when your opponent's Guardian is placed, discard a grade 1 or less card from your hand, retire that Guardian. So, this does not stop PGs. You need to be able to get a lot of advantage in order to make use of this skill, and then discarding a grade 1 or less means you're kind of losing guard at the same pace as your opponent. So you really just kind of want to end the game with this, which makes the free stride thing really awkward.
Yeah. It's very situational.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We have Progenitor Dragon of Regal Birth Megaloma. First two skills the same. The third one placed, discard 2 cards from your hand, and for one time during the next turn, when you would lose, return all of the cards from your hand and damage zone back to your deck, shuffle it, and put 5 cards from the top of your deck into your damage zone and end that turn, and perform all effects and rule actions. So, if the opponent is in the middle of critting you, and you hit the 6 damage, you still have to take 1 more damage after putting the 5 back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I tried this out. I used it exactly once, and it wasn't that great. So,
not losing is not the same as winning.
Yep. Okay, that's it for Progenitor Dragons. Let's get into the thing proper. Here we go.
Yeah. Go watch last week's episode if you want to know our in-depth thoughts.
Yes.
Alright. Oh boy, I get to talk about 5 strides in a row.
Suck it.
Amazing.
Divine Knight of Twin Absolute, Saint of Twin Sword. So stride, discard cards with the sum being 3 or more from your hand, and then when it attacks a Vanguard while boosted, you can counterblast 1, turn a card G-Zone face up. Search your deck for 2 grade 2s, call them to rearguard circle, and shuffle your deck. When your rearguard is placed from deck, that unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn for each face-up card in your G-Zone.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Like, you get 2 extra attacks with plus 5,000 power, and then the later in the game you use this, the more power you get. And we all know that high-powered multi-attacks are the best kind of multi-attack.
Yes, and especially because that the cost isn't himself, it can be generic. It means you can run a techier G-Zone with stuff that also flips things face up, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
And the power plus 5,000 is also generic for any face-up card in your G-Zone, not just himself, so...
Yes. So, pretty solid.
Yeah. Like, it's good at every stage in the game. It starts off decently and scales really strong the further into the game you go.
Yeah. Now, the question is, does this replace any like role that Royal Paladin had before this, because I know in like the Alfred Blaster thing, you're doing Gancelot 1st, and then I don't really know what you do after.
I guess if you wanted to really accelerate a rush deck, you could use this because it's 2 extra attacks.
Yeah. And Brave,
other
too,
than that,
if that's a thing.
yeah.
Well, okay. And it has to be boosted, which is kind of an interesting point.
I believe that's a holdover from its original status as an Amber clone.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the Amber clone, but that makes sense now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If they ever make a Crayon Tiger Stride, I'm sure it'll be the same.
Okay.
Alright. Next is Abundant Water Honorable Deity Ichikushima.
Not looking forward to this.
Yeah. Stride, same stride as always. Discard grade 3 or greater. And then act once per turn, counterblast 1, turn any card in your G zone face up. Draw a card, and until end of turn, your opponent can't use auto abilities of any guardians, and it's get Oracle, all front row units gets power plus 2,000 for each card in your hand, and then continuous in the G zone if this card is face up. When counting the number of cards in your hand, count face up cards in your G zone as well.
Wow.
Alright.
This card is it nullifies Sentinels.
Yes.
Pretty okay first stride.
And any G guards, which that's cool.
You can also lie to your opponent about your power, because you could be like, oh, like you're attacking but you haven't drove check yet. You're like, yeah, I'm 54k.
Yeah. But then that comes down to the opponent reading, which, reading is hard.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't think about that particular aspect. That your hand increases as you drive check. Because this thing has caught people since the original Amaterasu.
Yeah.
Alright. Evangelical Seraph, Raphael Mitra. So, stride, discard grade 3 or greater. And then act once per turn, counterblast 3, and turn a card your G zone face up. Discard 2 cards from your hand and heal 2 cards from your damage zone.
So, counterblast 1, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Counterblast 1, discard 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And heal 2.
I can see people playing like... Man, this card is like pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But probably still really good.
You know what it's really good in is Gize.
True.
They made Gize better, which sucks.
Yep. Your opponent can't kill you if you just take yourself to 3 damage all of a sudden.
Just play Gold Paladin and win the die roll.
Or any clan that can abuse Zoa, you do something like that.
Yep. Like you can't heal. They can't heal if they're dead.
Yes, that is true.
But yeah, this card just seems annoying mostly.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one is less annoying and more scary.
Drag Principal Morfessa. So, stride, same thing, blah blah blah. Act once per turn, counterblast 1, flip, choose 2 of your rear cards and retire them. Draw 2 cards, and until the end of your turn, all triggers in your drop zone become grade 1.
Seriously? Fuck. Alright, cool.
And then, continuous, Ritual 10, all of your front row units gets power plus 5,000 and crit plus 1, and if your opponent would call cards from hand to guard circle, well, they can't call unless they do 2 or more, so battle door skill.
Part of me thinks that second skill is worse because it's a bigger number.
Yeah.
Because unless you're perfect guarding...
I mean, I guess that's the idea, right? Like, you pump up the number so big, you either drop so many cards from your hand trying to block it, or you have to perfect guard, in which case the battle door forces you to inflate your guard.
Yeah. But not everyone's going to have 3 perfect guards, or more even. If
yeah.
Because it's continuous, so if you have a way to like call stuff in mid-battle phase, that's getting the bonus also. It's not like you pay the cost and then whatever's in the front right then.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that they can just keep calling more grade 1s over things.
That's what I'm saying. And you can artificially inflate ritual. I believe this is going to be a theme where they're just going to make the keywords easier to attain.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I think that works pretty well for like the keywords that like needed something out of you.
Yeah.
Because like when we talked about the keywords to begin with, a big thing that we came across was that keywords that require more out of you than normal were in general worse than keywords that didn't.
Yeah.
And so having a way to fix that is really, really powerful.
Yeah. Well, mostly just Oracle and like Brave, I guess. But
well, no, we even mentioned things like I mean there were other things that we mentioned. Obviously, with Ritual, we knew it was powerful, but there was a lot of easy ways to set it up already.
yeah. And now this makes it easier.
Yep. And then Golden Dragon, Spear X Dragon. So Stride, blah blah. Act, G-Zone, Unite. If your Vanguard is grade 3, you can Counterblast 2 and discard a card from your hand. Stride this onto your Vanguard from face down, and then act once per turn. Soul Blast 1, turn a card in your G-Zone face up. Look at 5 cards on top of your deck. Call 2 cards and shuffle.
Wait. You can do this on the turn you ride grade 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Jenkins, how can we make Gold Paladin even better? I know. Why don't we make it so they can stride while the opponent's on grade 1 instead of grade 2?
Well, hold on. They're not going to have 2 counterblasts, though.
Yes, but...
Unless you crit them or something, that'd be a mistake.
But if you're playing against Gold Paladin, you have to put something in the back row to give a crit to. Because you cannot give them 2 counterblast or you will die. Unless
Pretty
you're
much.
also Gold Paladin, which...
This is hilarious.
Yeah. Because Gold Paladin couldn't stride fast enough. Let's make them stride even faster.
Yeah, otherwise, Soul Blast 1, Call 2 is, like, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're not using the other effect.
Yeah.
I hate this thing. I really do.
Right?
Yeah.
And especially because it's not like if you do that first skill, it doesn't really stop you from doing the second skill.
Is that Glorious Rating?
No, there was an old card called Spear Cross Dragon.
Oh, that's this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks vaguely like, but it's like
That's
a
just
gold
because
dragon.
That's just because all Gold Paladins look the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
Fair. I apologize.
Spear Cross back in the day was absolutely terrible. It was Counterblast 2, turn a copy of it face up. When placed, if you have 2 or more, 1 or more face up in G zone, you can pay the cost. If you do, check top 5, and call a card for each face up in G zone. So it's check top 5, call 2. It's very medium. So this is better and more horrifying. Like a lot of these seem to be finishers or close to it, and this is just it. In and of itself, it's not a finisher, but with everything around it, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Pour one out for fucking slow decks, then.
Yep. I'm sure Mega Colony is laughing right now.
Yeah, I have a fun little thing to bring up about that when we get to Mega Colony, but
All right.
yeah, enjoy.
But for now, Complete Beauty, Amaruta, Aphros. So, Stride, same rules. Revelation, and then Act, once per turn. You can Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Till end of turn, one of your rear guards gets power plus 10,000, critical plus 1. If your soul has 4 or less cards, draw 2 and soul charge 5. Then, at the end of the battle attack, Soul Blast 15, stand one of your rear guards, and until end of turn, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from hand.
Wait. You just Wiseman people.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
that's the kicker with this. That's what you're supposed to do.
Amazing. They just embrace the Wiseman.
Yeah, and they added a revelation, so you can do all your revelation stuff. If you want.
So Wiseman just fucking kills you now.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's the kicker. So the no Sentinels thing is for the whole turn, not just for that battle or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're like, you better get your perfect guards out of the way now. And there's also the things like the Soul Blast reducers and things like that come in a lot of handy for this.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, this thing is pretty damn awesome. I haven't really looked into Premium Genesis at all, so I'm not really sure what sort of wacky stuff people have in store for this, but looks pretty good. I find it weird that the skill that gets you the draws and the soul charges doesn't involve a Soul Blast itself. So if you ride up normally, so if you have like the draw starter or a starter that goes into soul, so you have the 0, 1, 2, you ride 3. So by riding normally, you can, this is live, but you can only put one more card in soul before doing that to get the draw and the soul charge.
Right.
So proceed with caution, I guess. If you have deck ideas or things that we're missing, please tweet us at Nexus at Night, because we have some large gaps in knowledge here. At least with this, anyway.
All right. Are we good on Amaruta?
Yeah, we are good on Amaruta.
Yep.
It's
All
Matt's
right.
turn.
So as he was complaining about, he had to read like 5 strides or 6 strides in a row. I have to read like 8. So the first one is Flare General Dumjid Valor, and this is the Kagura one. It has Blaze, and remember that Blaze is when one of your unit attacks. That if you have more rear guards than your opponent, your Vanguard becomes blazing. And when placed, you can counterblast 1 to turn a card in your G zone face up. Choose one of your rear guards, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and this unit gets power plus 15,000 for each Sentinel in your drop zone. And then it has a once per turn ability that when your opponent's Sentinel or G Guardian is placed, you may stand this blazing unit, and it gets drive -1 until end of turn.
Sweet. They just made Ziegenberg even better.
Yep. So all you have to do is have more rear guards than your opponent, and you will be blazing. And basically, it just gets a whole bunch of power if you wish. And even if you don't, it has the once per turn stand ability if your opponent PGs or G Guardians.
Yep. That's rough.
Which they will.
They will. So the restand is all but guaranteed because it works anytime. It's not just during his attack.
Yep.
So,
and even if they do it during his attack, he'll still be standing at the end of it, so
Yeah.
it'll do well.
do it again. Just Jesus fuck. Looks pretty good. I don't know if Kagura was already pretty decent in premium. I'm not really sure if this accelerates their prowess at all. It kind of just seems like it's another Ziegenberg.
Yeah, pretty much. It's earlier, right?
It's earlier, and you don't need an empty field. You just need to be blazing.
Right.
It's also cheaper.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
You mean
cool.
free?
Yes. I mean, you don't get the power if no sentinels and drop means you no power
Yeah,
for
but
you.
still, a free restand is a free restand.
Yeah.
And you only get drive -1, so you get 5 drive checks.
Yes.
I think Ziegenberg only gets 4, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. They just drive -2.
So yeah,
Yep.
you can just plus out your ass.
And they're really trying to make the ace irrelevant, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Please make
It's been
the
irrelevant for a long time, don't worry.
It's a stride from GB1. It better be irrelevant by now.
Alrighty. So, the next card is Enma Stealth King Mujilord Dagoku. This is for Nubatama. It has Dominate, Counterblast 1, and turn a card from your G zone face up. Your opponent chooses 2 face-up G units with power from his or her G zone and calls them to rearguard circle. Your opponent cannot use their auto abilities. You dominate all of them and attack your opponent's Vanguard with each of them. Use their auto abilities as if they were on Vanguard circle for that battle. Return them to the G zone at end of turn.
So, I tried this, and it seems like the only time you want to do this is first stride. Because as the game goes on, the opponent will have more things face up, and thus more things to choose to screw you over. It also seems like it's very heavily situational. That said, it's pretty good.
So, what stops them on a first stride if they just flip up a G Guardian? Then this card's like extra weak, right?
A G Guardian is not a G unit.
Oh, I see. That works.
Yeah, so it has to be a G unit.
But they could just pick something that's just like
I picked
very
Sea
medium,
Breeze, yeah. And then
which
you
they
don't.
will flip up anyway.
Yeah. So no, you don't get the drive checks because that would be broken. But does this do first stride better than Shiranui Rene?
Well,
Yes
see, that's the
and
thing,
no.
though, is
Like,
Rene lets you rip cards out of your opponent's hand is the thing.
yeah, and also it only works if you stride second.
Right.
So I think this is good for that one particular situation and not much else.
Yeah.
I feel like you play it just to make people respect it.
Oh, just for like just the flex or
Well, no, like if they just
Imagine
if they-
using this on Doomjid.
yeah,
oh shit. Son.
they just stride some card where you're like, oh, cool. I guess I'll dominate that. And it calls them to rearguard circle, right? So you can call them. I guess your opponent chooses where to call them.
They call them anywhere, but you're still attacking with them. It doesn't matter if they put them in the back or not.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like with all these new broken strides, they can just steal those abilities for themselves now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. This one is probably one of the worst strides in this set, but it's still pretty good.
All right.
Yeah. This one I am super excited for.
Alrighty, so we have the next one is Unrivaled Ruler Gluttony Nebrios. So it is. It looks like Gluttony Dogma.
Yeah.
And it has Engorge. So remember, Engorge is when this unit attacks. You can retire any number of your units, and if you do this, if you retire at least one, this unit becomes engorged. And then it has an auto. When it becomes engorged, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, retire them, and then you can turn a card in your G zone face up, and put a total of 5 equipped gauge or rear guards into your drop zone. So it kind of combining the new and old mechanic there, and you get to stand this unit. So it is pretty nice. So you have to eat 1 for sure, and then you can kind of double up 2, because you can, like, let's say you have a rear guard with 2 equipped gauge, you can go ahead and dump both the equipped gauge and the rear guard, right?
So that's 3, yeah, and then you
that's
just need
3
2
already. So that's pretty nice. So you get a nice stand there. And then what's in your G zone, if it's face up, you can Soul Blast 1 to put the top card of your deck face down as an equipped gauge into one of your rear guards, and it becomes engorged until end of turn.
I love this thing. I've been fooling around with it since it got revealed, and first off, it doesn't lose any drive checks, so that's 6 drive checks you're getting.
Yep.
Secondly, the whole, like, combining gauges with like, you know, rear guard killing is fucking fantastic. They found a way to bridge the gap between them. Thirdly, there are cards that when, you know, they're eaten, you can call them back, like Raven Terra, who can Soul Blast and call himself back. And because Engorge and that second skill are extra, you can Engorge Raven Terra, call it back, then choose Raven Terra again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a way to do it. If you run Gaia somehow, I'm not really sure why you would. It seems too slow. Then you can get your bonuses off that way. And being able to artificially engorge something and give it a gauge is quite good, especially because if you go into this again, you can use that equip gauge you just got off the top of the deck for the cost.
Yep.
So fucking love this thing. What am I missing?
Seems real solid to me.
Yeah, seems like a great card.
Definitely just play 4 of this and not really look back.
Yeah. Right now, my G-Zone is 4 of this thing, 2 Gaia Dynast, 4 Gaia Devastate for the Link Joker matchup, and then, like, G-Guards and stuff. And the Progenitor Dragon. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You also don't have to turn himself face up. You can... So if you're playing against not Link Joker, you can turn up Gaia Devastate.
Neat.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Alright, shall we go on to the Murakumo one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so Murakumo, I want to set up some framework here. They need basically infinite help to be good in premium. Like, I know there is some Murakumo deck running around. That deck is not great. But, so here is Ambush Demon Stealth Dragon Shibaraku Victor. So, has an act on Vanguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Reveal 7 cards from the top of your deck. Put up to 2 of the cards in total with the same card name as a card in your drop zone or rearguard circle into your hand and shuffle your deck. And it has Shadow Stitch. When your rearguard attacks a Vanguard and does not hit... Oh, sorry. The Shadow Stitch activates in G-Zone. So on Vanguard Circle, it's just, maybe a +2. It has a Shadow Stitch in G-Zone that when your rearguard attacks a Vanguard and does not hit, if this card is face up, you can Soul Blast 1 and call this card to rearguard circle.
This seems really shit.
I was going to say, Matt, you want to weigh in on this? This is your domain. So
this is not enough.
Yeah.
This is just not like Soul is already like a vaguely important resource in Murakumo, and this costing a Soul for just for another 15k attack is not great.
Why didn't they just have the Shadow Stitch still be free? Everything else is free.
Yeah,
Fucking
I don't know.
Dungeon's free. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This card is trash, and just don't play Murakumo in Premium.
I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is the card itself isn't trash. It's that everything around it is enough trash to where this isn't enough to make it not trash.
Yeah. Like, Murakumo Premium cards are absolute dog shit. They have no good G-Guardians. They have, all their G-Guardians are worse than heal triggers at this point. Except in, very narrow cases. And, yeah, it's just not okay.
But, even, its Vanguard skill, though, it's only a top 7 search, which is already,
This card could say
shitty.
search your deck, and it would still be whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that you can miss is just oh, come on.
Yeah, right. Only rearguard circle or drop zone. Why can't we just search 2 cards? Everything else can do that.
This card could literally say search 2 cards, and it would still be whatever.
Yeah, but at least it would be less than garbage.
What are you going to get heal triggers and use the great Murakumo G guards?
Hell if I know.
Yeah, this card sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, I guess if you need multiple copies... Fuck, I can't even think of a good reason to where this would be helpful.
Turn it up with something else, and then use it as an extra attack on that one stride. I can't remember what it's called.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, that one finisher that Murakumo has that I can't remember the name of.
You know what's funny? This can't even grab Shiryukis if you have Shiryuki in your Vanguard circle, not in your graveyard. Oh,
Well, I mean, you can
God.
if it's in your graveyard, right?
Well, yeah, but if it's not in your graveyard, but it's on your Vanguard circle, yeah.
I mean, there's a good chance it's in your Vanguard. Or in
Well,
your
no,
drop zone, sorry.
Well, maybe, but
Yeah.
what if it's please. So, no, this card is fucking trash. All right, so let's talk about anything else. So let's talk about Narukami. Conquering Supreme Dragon Conquest Fargate. So this is Conquest's adult form. So act once per turn. Thunderstrike X. You can choose a card in your G zone, turn it face up. Choose a card from your hand and discard it. Choose opponent's rearguards up to the number of face-up cards in your G zone. Retire and bind them. For each card in your opponent's bind zone during this turn, for each card in your opponent's bind zone, it gets power plus 1,000 for the rest of the turn.
I think it's all units get power plus 1,000.
Oh, sorry, your units get power plus 1,000. And if your opponent has 7 or more cards bound during this turn, this unit gets drive plus 1. If 10 or more bound, crit plus 1.
Okay.
So, Thunderstrike 10 plus a drive check plus a crit plus a bunch of power.
You know what else can do that for less?
Vanquisher.
Vanquisher V-Buster gets plus crit plus drive 5k to your front row at 7.
Right?
But it's also GB3.
Yes. Now, I don't know. You're kind of hard pressed to get yourself to 10 by first try.
with all of the stronger and early binds from standard, it might be theoretically possible.
Yes, I really can't see myself running this. I would just cut 2 V-Buster for that. It's not amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Narukami just has problems with first stride.
Now, the Progenitor Dragon ironically helps with that because free stride every turn, and it's a pretty good effect in and of itself, so hopefully that helps. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled with this card. Narukami needed a better first stride, and this is the exact opposite. We have good late game strides.
Mm-hmm.
We have Voltage, we have V-Buster, we have,
We just don't want to meander around anyway and just wonder what you're supposed to be doing. That's what they want you to do, apparently.
I guess so.
Alrighty, who's next?
Still you.
Universal Ace Bustard. Alright, so Bustard was a Fires Collection stride, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Now it
was.
has a new form. So again, stride. And so this card has an auto. When your rear guards stand, you can Soul Blast 1 and choose a card in your G zone and turn it face up. And this unit gets drive plus 1 until end of turn. This is not once per turn.
Nope.
And it's as much as you want to flip up cards in your G Zone and Soul Blast.
I think you could do that with the original Bustard too.
And then it says, at the end of the battle that it attacked, if your cards drive as 5 or more, discard 3 cards from your hand, stand this unit, it gets drive -5 until end of turn.
Aside from that first skill, that second skill feels like a Dimension Police one, doesn't it?
This card is fucking hype as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what, you stride this first, and then if this doesn't kill them, you just fucking...
GBA.
Ultimate Champ or whatever its fucking name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Favorite
just
champ.
GB8, whatever.
Yeah.
Favorite Champ, yeah. So you either Favorite Champ or GB8 them. This is great.
Yeah. This is fucking badonkers. And also, winning Champ Victor was a good first stride to begin with, and they have this now too. This is crazy.
Alright, this card is just fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Don't play this card, you hate fun. That's just what I'm gonna say.
Like, Nova Grappler in general is just like turn cards sideways over and over again. If your opponent isn't at 6 damage by the time you're done, you've done something wrong.
This thing's amazing.
Alrighty. So speaking of something, the Golden Boy himself, strongest command chief, Final Dimax XD. So this has
Isn't it DX?
It's DX.
Oh, XD.
nope, it's XD now.
XD like the laughing. Shout out to Different Fight. I can feel your souls fusing into this giant golden robot.
So it has auto on Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, return a card in your G Zone face up. Put all of your rest rear guards into your soul. Reveal 7 cards from the top of your deck. Call cards to your rear guard circle from among them in descending power order up to the number of face-up cards in your G Zone. Shuffle your deck. If you put 4 or more units into your soul for the cost, all of your units get power plus 10,000 and critical plus 1 until end of turn.
What do you think?
Does this even matter?
What do you mean? What does it
Like,
even
you're
matter?
going to get here, and then what? I just don't know.
They
I
die?
think this card is really medium.
Really?
Yeah. Like, plus 20k to each column is, like, kind of substantial, but, like, against most decks, you're dead by this point.
Yeah.
Or they can just G-guard their way out of it.
Mm.
Like,
Sorry.
I'm looking at Bermuda, who has 8 fucking G-guards, right? Like, I just don't see this card being good.
If you had something that could attack from the back row,
Right?
That would be nice.
The card does look cool. I will say that.
Yeah.
It looks sweet.
see, like, if it gave the ability to attack from the back row to all of your units, then I would say this card is good, because that you're getting 5 extra attacks at plus 10,000 and a crit, so...
This card's like it's like pretty flashy, like just like all the other Dimension Release cards. But I just think it's worse than like the because of how late you have to use it. I think it's worse than like even the Nova Grappler one, which kind of does stuff all like at the beginning of the game, and this one just doesn't. Like the Nova Grappler one, you could see ending a game, right?
Yeah.
This one is not going to end a game early.
It seems like if they just added a number of cards in your G Zone plus 2 or something.
Yeah, like just so you could work on first stride occasionally. Yeah, that might. But like, yeah, I'm not. It just feels bad that it's gonna like this is just never gonna actually happen.
Either that, or if you have if you put 4 or more units into Soul for the cost.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
But even then, like, if you're only calling a single card off of this skill, like, oh boy, 1 attack at plus 10,000 and a crit.
Mm-hmm.
If you have 4
Like,
skips,
you need to
that's
call
more,
at least 2
but-
cards, and then, like, those cards are easily guardable.
Yeah.
So, like, really, you probably need 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And-
And that the descending power order means you could very easily put, like, 2 grade 3s in the front row and then 2 grade 2s in the back row.
Yeah. So,
That's-
well, I mean, you could put a grade 2 behind Van and get an extra one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how it is.
This one strikes fear into my heart.
All right, let's talk about Death Star Vader Glue Ball Avalanche. So if you can imagine a giant ball of glue rolling down something.
I believe it's a phenomenon in physics, isn't it?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I am not a physicist. I am a mathematician. So this has continuous ability in G-Zone. If you have 2 or more face-up Death Star Vader Glue Ball Avalanche in your G-Zone, when this opponent's card would be unlocked, bind it face down instead.
I'll get to this in a second. Yeah.
And then it has an act. Once per turn, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a card in your G-Zone, and turn it face up. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, lock them, and for each of your opponent's locked cards and face-down cards in his or her bind zone, all of your front row units get power plus 2,000 till end of turn.
This is incidental.
So you can just flip himself up and just have his ability for the rest of the game.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay, remember how, like, Chaos was only kept down because of Messiah?
Mm-hmm.
Because Messiah could unlock his... This makes it is completely turned on its head. Even locking your own stuff means it's getting bound.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, this... Just that, like, that second still could have been not there, and this still would have been worth it.
Well, it needed a way to flip itself up.
Okay, but, like, you see what I'm getting at.
It could have no text. I
Yeah.
understand.
Soul Blast, turn a card in G-Zone, face up, and, like, I don't know, you get a smoothie or something. It doesn't matter. Like, just...
Man, so they're really telling you not to play Messiahs now. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
like,
though they're making new Messiah cards.
so the only way to get around this is cards that unlock in unconventional ways. Stuff like Pale Moon, where it sucks the cards back into Soul Touch because it eats its own locks, Bermuda Triangle, which bounces it. So those are the only way to really get around this. Anything that unlocks conventionally, that shit's gone.
Yep.
That's crazy. I also would love to see what a mirror match is like for Messiah.
I have no interest in this.
In the mirror match or the card?
Remember that time I watched that like Chaos versus Mega Colony match?
Oh my god.
And it
let
took...
me never do that again.
Didn't you just finish watching it like 15 minutes before we started recording?
Yeah, and it was like... And each of them was playing a Legion, so it took even longer than...
Oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah, I was
god.
like, oh my god. Oh, I wanted to turn it off, but I had to see who won.
God.
It was like sunk cost fallacy, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I've already invested so much time.
I imagine the mirror match would just be Messiah's lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
At least that would be fast.
Yeah, but also that means that fucking, like, that's probably going to make Chaos come back. Like, in a big way.
Cool.
Which is,
Let's
no,
do it.
not cool. I don't like Chaos.
Well, why not?
Because it's annoying to play against?
Look, you have to assimilate.
Thanks, fucking Star Trek The Next Generation. Captain Matt Card. Alright, so finally it's my turn. Shoot down Emperor, Violence Ace. So it's a stride, and then act once per turn. Counterblast 1, turn a card in your G-Zone face up. Draw the same number of cards as face-up cards in your G-Zone, and until end of turn this unit gets red text. Soul Blast 1, and one of your units gets plus 10k until end of turn. That is not a once per turn still, so cool. And then also, on Vanguard Circle, when your opponent's Guardians become 2 or more, you can Counterblast 1, put a rear guard into your Soul, and call a card from your hand to Rear Guard Circle. So, this is kind of neat.
Well, wait a second. Did they just make a Spike Brothers card that actually pluses without any kind of drawback?
Yeah. So, Living Proof did a recruiting report on this today, which I didn't get to watch all of it. But some of the pros he said was if you don't really have good cards in hand to make an Agrius board, this is a good alternative because you can just get straight advantage for once.
Yeah.
And then if you have now you can do something with all of that soul too, so you can just make stuff ridiculously huge, and then being able to extend your attacks just by the opponent guarding. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anything? Yeah, seems pretty good. Let's see. Evil God Pontiff Gastile Daimonis. So, on Vanguard Circle, when a card is put into your Soul, all of your front row units get plus 3k until end of turn. Fuck. Okay. And then the other skill is act once per turn, turn a card in G-Zone face up. Search your deck for 2 cards, put them into your Soul, shuffle your deck. This unit gets all of the abilities of the cards put into your Soul by this effect until end of turn.
Wait. This seems pretty annoying.
Yes,
Mhm.
it does. Especially because of that new Master of the Fifth Element.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nuts. You can do the restand, and then if you do like, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to do the Sharhat grade 3 because you won't have 10 in your soul anymore.
Right.
But still pretty neat.
Yeah.
This appears to be quite powerful, and the potential for things gets crazier the more support DIs get over time.
You just get put an original Reiji in there and just get +2 crit.
But again, if you do it with Fifth Element, you know. Oh, you mean like just put Reiji in there, like by itself? Yeah. No, put Reiji, original Reiji, and what's his the
Restander Reiji.
No, actually, we should play no Reiji because that card's bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was
Forgive
alright.
me for giving these bad ideas. To
Way
everyone.
back in the day. This thing is scarier than I'm giving it credit for. I think. But yeah, also that first skill is free and very spammable. Enjoy.
Yep.
Alright, Fancy Mega Trick Dark Lord Princess. I fucking love this thing. So, it's a stride, and then at the end of the battle that it attacked a Vanguard, you turn a card in your G zone face up. Stride a face up G unit from your G zone with power and the Magi ability on Vanguard as stood, and it gets drive -2 until end of turn. And if you do that, you call this card a Rear Guard Circle. So, this thing allows you to A, accelerate your GB, B, get 4 drive checks off 2 Vanguard attacks, C, make a board if you didn't have one, so because she becomes part of the board. And like if you do this and then flip over Masquerade Master Harry, stride it, call her to rear, attack with her for 15, attack with Harry, suck her and something else in. She goes back to G zone because it can't exist outside of rear guard. And then just this thing's great. It's free. I've been testing with it for the past couple of weeks, and yeah, like standard plus Pale Moon is pretty fucking awesome, and I love it.
Yeah, seems very solid. Simple, but gets the job done.
Yeah, it just kind of ramped up our first stride thing, and also you can use it late game with like crazier stuff, like what's his name, Dragon Masquerade Harry. So you if you have the counterblast, you suck one in, call 3 out, and then if you have the 5 or more, which I'm sure you will because Excel circles, you fucking make the opponent put something into soul. It's neat. Alright, this one's pretty cool. Interdimensional Dragon History build Dragon. So, for gears, on Vanguard or G-Zone, if this is face up, all of your units with the Time Leap ability get plus 3k during your turn. So, it's important to note that if you have multiple copies of this face up, that stacks. So, if you do one and flip one up, that's 6k to your Time Leap stuff.
Okay.
And then the other skill is on Vanguard Circle when it attacks. Soul Blast, turn a card in G-Zone face up, and Time Leap up to the same number of your rear guards as face-up cards in your G-Zone. It's fine.
Oakley dokley.
I never really paid attention to gears near the end of G-Era, because,
They're gears, who cares?
I don't know, weren't they winning a bunch of stuff for a while?
Yeah, but everybody hates gears, that's kind of the...
They were up until Bermuda came out, right?
Yeah.
Does this, what were they using for first stride before this?
Well, that's the thing. They were using all Zodiac Time Beast stuff because they destroyed the Time Leap engine through multiple bans, finally.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, general power creep kind of took the Time Leap engine out of meta, so...
That's true.
Time Leap as a whole doesn't have a whole lot of support, and key cards for the Time Leap combo, like Mellum, don't have the Time Leap keyword, I don't think.
Right.
No, they don't. And this thing isn't a Zodiac Time Beast, which they easily could have slapped on there for no reason.
Yeah, so, I don't know that this is going to do anything, just because, the major advantage engine that Time Leap had uses a lot of non-Time Leap cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
Yeah, this card
maybe
seems
if it was, Time Leap ability and Zodiac Time Beast, then this would do something, but,
Be a nice way to bridge the gap like they did with
Yeah.
Kachikaze.
And also, it doesn't work with Standard Plus, because none of them have the Time Leap keyword.
Exactly.
Right.
This card is just severely outdated.
It sucks because like the card itself is good. It's just that everything around it is not.
Mm-hmm.
What about Boolossus over here?
All right, Ghosty Great Emperor Big Obadiah.
They picked the memeiest card to turn into a new stride, and
It's named Big Obadiah.
yeah, we have to make it bigger. What do we call it? Big Obadiah. All right, fuck it. I want to go to lunch. It looks like Boolossus from Luigi's Mansion, doesn't it?
Yeah. Did the
A little bit.
original Obadiah have a mustache?
No.
No, it had a crown, and this has a castle for a head, for a hat. And now he's got a mustache. It even looks like Mario's mustache,
Yeah.
just white.
It's a King Boo,
Anyway.
dude.
So, like, stride, blah, blah, blah. Act once per turn. Counterblast 1, turn a card face up. Search your deck for 5 cards, put them into your drop zone, shuffle the deck, call up to 2 cards from your drop zone to rearguard circle for each face-up card in your G zone. They get power plus 5,000 till end of turn.
So I was thinking about this, and I think this allows you to build the deck completely differently instead of going into Gauche first stride. So Gauche makes you have to empty your soul, and you call, however many you put out, which typically is about 3 or 4. This only lets you get 2, but it also means you don't have to spend time, building your drop zone. You can
Well,
get
it gives
exactly
2
what
for
you want.
each face-up card in your G zone.
Yeah, no, but I mean doing
Yeah.
this first stride. So like,
Oh, I see.
so you put 5 of your choosing into drop, call 2, which that's pretty good. It also means that you can't really do the Gauche thing as easily, or not Gauche, Grenache as easily anymore because Grenache you just kept in soul for the Gauche cost. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. It seems like it's just kind of overlapping with the.
It's just a souped-up version of the original. Like, most people only had a copy of Obadiah for a while just to fix their drop zone if they really had nothing. This seems
And really,
like...
if you strode it, you were losing anyway, so it didn't really
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, this just seems like a scaled-up version of that, where you only want to use this if your if your drop zone is really bad, and if you have to resort to it, you're probably going to be behind.
Yeah. I mean, like, Negrosauner is a 2-of in Grand Blue G zones that is used literally never. So, at the very least, this goes in for that reason. I don't know, man. It's whatever. I think if this was on attack, it'd be a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Get a multi-attack that way. But, part of it is also, like, it doesn't overtake Gauche in its role, aside from not using the soul, I guess. I don't know. It's a vague disappointment, more or less. Let's keep it moving.
Alright. Wishful Sunny Stage Shandy.
Here we
So,
go.
Stride, Auto, Harmony, Continuous, Vanguard. If you have 6 or more units in Harmony, this unit gets critical +1 for each face-up card in your G-Zone.
Fuck.
And then, when it attacks, counterblast 1 and turn a card in your G-Zone face up. Look at 10 cards from the top of your deck. Call up to the same number of cards from among them as your units in Harmony to rearguard circle and shuffle your deck.
So,
All right.
I mean, hell, even that second skill is good. Just for a first stride, you have 2 in Harmony. You call 2 more.
Yep.
Pretty cool. That
And
second
then-
still is like crazy. For the gets what was it? For each
crit
card
for-
in G-Zone.
Remember, this doesn't gain any power, so...
Oh yeah, you got a point. But I mean,
And then-
force gifts and all the other stuff.
Yeah, that is true, but like, Bermuda... I don't think they have any way of forcing guard right now in the stride phase. So, I don't know. This card seems okay. Like, I think you'd need some work to try to set up a good combo with it. This seems more like you'd use it for board fixing than anything.
Which
Doesn't
is not a
Bermuda
bad
just have
thing at
more
all.
insane stuff than this going on anyway?
Yeah, it's true. You do. Like, I mean,
Does Bermuda even care?
no,
Yeah.
they don't.
Like, they're already so strong, you would probably just play this for the hilarity of hitting someone with 6 crits or something.
All right.
Why not?
Alright. Torrent of Determination, Valeos Revive. So it is a stride, and then when it attacks, counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Call up to 2 cards from your hand to rearguard circle for each face-up card in your G zone. Draw the same number of cards as units called. If your G zone has 2 or more face-up unit, it's choose one of your opponent's vanguards. Until end of turn, increase or decrease its power to 11,000, and its power cannot increase or decrease other than this effect and the Guardian Shield.
Card's sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, it helps plus a lot, and then later in the game you can lock your opponent at 11,000, which Aquaforce always likes because fuck triggers.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you stride this every fucking time?
Well, if you do this first stride, you don't get the 11k lock.
Yeah, but you can also just plus 2.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Well, okay, wait. Yeah, call up to 2 for each face-up card.
Especially because Excel, you need to be able to plus.
Yeah. Why didn't they just make it if you called 2 or more cards, do the 11k lock? Like, there was no reason to, stick it behind a second stride or G-guard into it thing. Like,
Yeah.
the Aquaforce was already kind of hurting. Like, just throw him a bone, man. I mean, this doesn't make it a bad card, but, like, it was just, just a little off.
Funniest thing is this doesn't even work with the original Valeos.
No, it does not, but it doesn't matter because he works on his own, so who cares?
I just find it amusing.
All right. So, Guilty Empress, Dark-Faced Gridora. Stride. Act once per turn. Counterblast, turn a card in G-Zone face up. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot stand their units during their stand phase, nor call cards other than from hand. And on Vanguard, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3, call it to rear, it gets plus 10k, shuffle. Oh my god, this thing is, as someone on Vanguardians put it, psychotically good. So, a few things about this. One, your other major stride, Overwhelm, flips generically, and this flips generically. So you can, I need to go into this, I'll flip Overwhelm. I need to go into Overwhelm, I'll flip this. Easy peasy. Secondly, not being a free board stun for a counterblast is pretty awesome. And also, you can't call cards other than from hand. Pale Moon, Grand Blue, most of the Paladins, Spike Brothers, like a lot of clans just get shut down by that. And also,
Spike Brothers can do some stuff around this though, because they do have strides that call from hand.
Yes, they do, but like it really like puts a damper on a lot of your offense. And also, this means that you cannot G-guard because you can't call cards other than from hand. This is amazing. I love this thing.
This card's annoying.
Doesn't fully affect Bermuda Triangle either. Haha.
No, it doesn't. Now, you can like be on what's his face, the original Darkface, and go for the, tripping effect on stuff coming in. There's that, and then the
calling the grade 3.
Calling the grade 3 means you get what's his name,
Antlion.
Antlion for free. That's cool. I mean, that also means that you're going to be using a lot of soul, so you better have a good soul engine, which Mega Colony usually has an easy-ish time with it, so they'll be fine, I think. This thing is great. It made me start, I started picking up Mega Colony pieces because this excited me that much. I thought...
Also, fuck Gold Paladin.
Yes, exactly. Shadows also get fucked pretty hard, too.
Yeah.
Well, assuming you're living till stride.
Oh, for Gold Paladin. I mean, what's her face? Gridora can shut off a column, which is nice, but
yeah.
Whoa, you're on Gridora? Well, must be nice.
I mean, I can always search her with the stride fodder. Anyway, next thing.
You're on grade 3?
Oh. Be weirder. All right. Zenith Wisdom Dragon, Mana Garmer Aurium. So it turns out that the good boy has become a gooder boy. Act once per turn, counterblast, turn a card in G-Zone face up, and perform, put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. If it's a normal unit, one of your units gets plus 10k until end of turn. If it's a trigger unit, this unit gets a drive plus 1 4 times. So mill 4 and either give something 10k for each normal unit or get a drive check for each trigger unit. This is a fucking recipe for disaster if you go into this more than twice. But that's great. And then the other skill is in G-Zone. Once per turn, if it's face up, when your Vanguard attacks, you can Soul Blast 1 and call a card from your hand to rearguard circle. So, Cool. They gave us a way to extend attacks from hand if you really, really want to. It also means that you can do this like during the Zoa turn, or like there's lots of ways to use this. Ballot Earl kind of fell off as first stride as time has gone on and shields have gotten bigger. This thing is a great first stride. You can get like a quad drive or up to a septuple drive if you mill 4 triggers. And you make something huge. And yeah, I'm a fan of this thing. I don't think I'm going to run it as more of a 2 of, because you can turn anything face up, and a lot of the Great Nature G-Zone turns up stuff generically, so you can run this at low numbers. Alright, this one I think is arguably the best zoo one. So, Pure Sanctus, Green Katrina. On Vanguard, when placed, turn a card in your G-Zone face up, call plant tokens to rear guard up to the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone, and this unit gets all of your plant tokens get plus 10k until end of turn. So it's to her, not to the tokens themselves, which is nice. And then on Van, when it attacks, search your deck for cards up to the number of your plant tokens, call them to rear, and shuffle your deck. What the fuck? Bushiroad is killing it with this, bridging the old and new mechanics thing together.
Right. I mean, that second skill is basically just what Cecilia does.
Yeah, but you're searching for anything.
Yep.
No same names, just anything.
I would like to remind you the Murkuma one is look at top 7.
Yes, I know.
Okay, just want to throw that out there and now that we've read, every other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Green Katrina is really, really good, and just
attack with massive plant columns, and then make massive bloom columns and attack again.
Yeah, or just call stuff that calls more plant tokens, because your tokens get 10k still.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this thing's fucking awesome, and I cannot wait to get my face smushed in by Gabe. Now, this is the end of the triple Rs, and all of the double Rs are pretty much all the same card. So every clan in this set gets a critical trigger that is 4,000 power, 15,000 shield, gives 10,000 power as a trigger, and they all have the skill GB1. When your Vanguard attacks, you can put this in Soul, draw a card, and give your Vanguard plus 10,000. It's all the same skill. I don't want to read off all the names. I don't want to show all the pictures. You can go on the Wikia and look for yourself. Some of them are really hilarious. Like for Great Nature, it is Curious Pony. They gave us Curious Pony for...
Yep.
That is actually pretty cute.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Exotic Jerker?
I'm not a fan of that one. They're getting really close to crazy dick jokes. This and that Grand Blue card they revealed a couple weeks ago. Just Jesus Christ.
Close to a dick joke.
Yeah. Well, okay, Jerker is right on the line. The
Exotic Jerker.
Exotic
amazing.
Jerker.
Simply amazing.
Wind me up, put me down, start me up, and watch me go. So normally this is where I would ask who won, who lost, but there are 24 clans.
I can tell you who lost.
Yes, we know who lost.
Murakumo lost.
Murakumo, Nubatama, and Narukami all kind of got the short end of the stick.
Yeah. And Dimension Police.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me look at Murakumo's trigger to see if I have any more complaint equity. The trigger looks pretty whatever, so
Stealth
yeah, the
Beast
trigger also has
Stretch
shitty art, so there you go.
Yeah.
The face is weird. I like the pose and everything and how the house is
I
on fire.
I would like it better if there was just no actual subject and it was just a background.
Oh. Like it's so ninja-y that it disappears.
Yeah, it's just exactly. It would be a better looking card.
All right. So, who do you think won this? Because there are a lot of possible
There are
candidates.
so many.
My
fucking...
candidate is for Bustard. In terms of making the clan status after getting that card.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of cards that helped the most, I think Gluttony Neburos and Katrina and Blue Ball Avalanche all helped their respective clans immensely. Oh yeah, Gear Chronicle is probably one of the losers too.
Oh yeah. But God, the Gear Chronicle one is just sad.
And arguably Grand Blue, depending on your view.
Dimension Police one's also pretty whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like medium. I mean, you gotta have losers in every set, but...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all, and it's for the purpose of premium, it's always Murakumo.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's been the opposite for the other format. So.
That's standard. Yeah, that's true. And also, I think all of these like pseudo Heartham clone things are quite good. Like, there's no,
GB1 kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
In the current context, though, like none of the crit triggers have skills, so
Yeah,
right.
and it is generic, so it's not like you have to run, Vanquisher or
yeah.
you know.
It also
Gallop
means
or-
we can finally have 12 new crits
Yes.
in premium, at least.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Now, when it comes to this set, you get 10 packs in a box, 16 boxes in a case. Every box comes with one Progenitor Dragon, and then everything else you get, I think a triple R and two double Rs or something like that, or two triple Rs and a double R, can't remember. So it's pretty easy to like pull what you need, I think, in boxes, and I think the Progenitor Dragons are going to be easier to find than the Zeroth Dragons, because fuck trying to find the Zeroth Dragons.
Also, every pack will include a hot stamped card.
Yeah, so hooray for hot stamps.
Yeah.
It looks like the hot stamps in a lot of these, they look pretty nice. They're not intruding on the card too much. It's like in the corner, which is cool. So yeah, that kind of does it for this episode of Nexus at Night. Where can people find you guys on the internet out there?
Find me at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs on the Twitter.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Any art things coming up?
Nothing in particular right now.
Finish
I drew
the
an eel
drawing you're
girl,
working on.
but I
Finish
did.
Finish?
I-
Oh, nice.
Oh, he did.
I uploaded it last night. It's an eel girl.
Nice.
Anyway, you can find this show at Nexus at Night on Twitter. You can also find me personally at Atlas Novak, Novack. If you happen to be in the Los Angeles area on May 23rd, I am on a show at the Hollywood Improv at 9:30 called the Maiha Show. If you want to come to that and make fun of me after because of how good or shitty I am at comedy, you'll just have to come see. Yeah, so until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.